So for the past week, I've been getting a lot of questions regarding pandemic EBT, SNAP benefits, and any additional stimulus that we may get for the American people. Today I want to dive right into that because here's what we've been getting reports on. Over the past week, we have seen that Google searches on things like food banks, food stamps, SNAP EBT, just EBT in general, and even unemployment benefits have been picking up. That's scary because guess what? When we see Google searches pick up for all these things, that is usually a sign that we are seeing more people get laid off. They're not getting the income that they need. There's price increases across the board, which is probably causing more inflation, which means their money doesn't go as far. Now, we have more than doubled the amount of searches from last September. Think about that. Because what was happening last September? We were still kind of in that pandemic, right? Everybody was worried. What's happening? The positive cases were coming back, right? So this is a very telling sign of where things are headed. Now, many people have told me that they keep getting told that the economy is good, right? Things are great. We have mainstream media coming on and saying that things are picking back up. Jobs, they're plentiful. Everybody should have a job or two. Well, that's not necessarily the case. The truth is that the American people have their finger on the pulse. We know what's going on. We know what's happening. And things are not looking up. If you are in the real world, you know things are not looking great. Yeah, there's some positive signs out there. But again, there's more negatives than there are good things. Now, let's get into some of the bad news. As of today, September 10th, what we know is that regarding school year 2022 and 2023 pandemic EBT benefits, there's none. As of today, there's no states that I can tell that have been approved for school year 2022 through 2023 benefits. Now, the reasons are fairly simple. Number one, states are somewhat running out of money, running out, right? They got money. They're just not willing to push it out there. But if you remember, school year pandemic EBT benefits, this would only be paid out to students that have missed 5 consecutive days of school. And this is where there's always a little bit of a problem with that 5-day rule. And I want to explain why. Most people get tested sometime on Monday. They usually go to school or they go to work or whatever, right? Let's say a student goes to school, has a little cough. The school sends little Johnny home, right? Little Emily home, and the parents get them tested. They're positive. Well, guess what? They went to school on Monday. So Monday doesn't count. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday all count. The only problem is that's 4 days. But according to the CDC, they say there's a 5-day isolation period, which would actually end on Saturday. So they can now, if they're symptom free, can go back to school come Monday. Guess what? They only had 4 consecutive days. So unless you hold them out on Monday, they would not have those 5 consecutive days. Guess what? That's a problem. That's a problem because that is one of the reasons why there's many people that thought they were out 5 days, but no, they weren't. They were only out 4 days of school. Because again, Monday, they went back. So this is why many states thought, you know what? We are not really paying out a lot of the money, so maybe we just don't need it. But the true fact is, no, it's because of the rules. That's the reason why. So again, I just wanted to fill you in on that because I know a lot of people are wondering that, hey, my kid missed all these days, and I simply let them know, well, did you test them on Monday? Because that was probably the issue. And in most cases, it was, we were tested either Monday or Tuesday, and then they went back the next Monday. So that's kind of what we're seeing. Now, you have some good news though. We have good news regarding the pandemic EBT. This is different from school year EBT. Pandemic EBT benefits, this is the supplemental allotment. This is providing the additional $95 per month to households. Well, we have a list of the states that have been approved for September, okay? And again, just understand that even though your state may not be listed on here, there's only 32 states, okay? Or states and territories. Even though your state may not be listed here, just understand they can still qualify, they can still get accepted, and they can still pay out even if they get accepted and approved in October or November. They can still get it, all right? But here's a list of the states. We have Alabama, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, District of Columbia, Guam, Hawaii, Illinois, Kansas, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, New Hampshire, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Vermont, Virginia, Utah, Washington, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. Those are the states that have currently been approved. Now, obviously, this isn't all 50 states and territories. This is just 32 of them, which is still fairly good, but it's not all. Now, I want to give you a warning, and this is a warning that I personally want to give you as well. I've been talking a lot about prepping, talking a lot about just obviously being prepared, those SHTF moments, when kind of stuff hits the fan, right? But here's what we know. Roughly 2 weeks ago, there was a nationwide outage that caused millions of users not to be able to pay for any of their groceries or goods with their EBT card. Now, obviously, this was a major problem, and the Department of Social Services ended up getting this fixed. However, people were still not able to use their card, which if you didn't have anything at home, no food, no groceries, no nothing, then obviously this put you in a bind. Well, currently, when we are experiencing power grid failures due to excessive heat, especially down in California, right? We have floods, we have tornadoes, we got all these things throughout the United States. Well, here's the issue. If you are not being prepared and you don't have some food just sitting on the side in your pantry, just in case, right? That emergency meal, well, you should probably do that. According to experts, they recommend that when times are tough, each household should prepare to have 72 hours of food and supplies on hand. This means things like food, water, potentially batteries. This means stuff like toilet paper, right? You need 72 hours of food and supplies. Now, that would be a good rule of thumb to go by. So if you don't have at least 3 days worth of food, you should go and get that. Maybe this isn't you get 3 days all of a sudden because, well, your EBT card just doesn't have enough money on it. I get it. Maybe you can go and buy a extra pack of top ramen. Go do it. Maybe you can go and buy a pack of rice or beans. Go do it. Make sure you have something that you can cook in the event of an emergency. All right? Now, here's the last thing I want to touch on. And that is the fact that the White House and Democratic senators are currently attempting to get a deal somewhat together with Republicans over this child tax credit payment. Now, obviously, we know this was something that was passed in 2021. Millions of Americans received the, $250 or $300 child tax credit payments every single month for 6 months. And it helped out millions of children, helped out millions of parents, pulled the children out of poverty. But then when the sunset and it expired, the problem there is, well, a lot of those children went right back into poverty. So currently, this is an issue. Well, as of right now, lawmakers are currently discussing Republican Senator Mitt Romney's proposal. This would send $350 per month to children under the age of 6. It would also send $300 per month for children that are 6 to 17 years old, as long as their household doesn't bring in any more than $200,000 for an individual or $400,000 for a couple. The other issue is lawmakers, specifically Democrats, do not like the provision where it states you have to make over $10,000 to even qualify for this tax credit. So that's one of the things they're trying to pull out. And Democrats say we are willing to accept the research and development tax credits under former President Donald Trump. We will extend those, but we will only extend those if you package that with the child tax credit payments. So again, there are some discussions happening right now as to giving additional stimulus money to the American citizens. And technically it is stimulus, but it's also the money you would essentially receive at the end of the year. It's just an advance on that child tax credit. Okay, so keep that in mind. The one benefit here, this is why I call this additional stimulus, is because the current child tax credit is only $2,000. It's $2,000 per child. which means that if we go from $2,000 to $4,200, it's over 100% increase. That's big. That's huge. But again, that's why I'm calling it stimulus, because we're getting additional, $2,200 every single year per child. That's pretty big, all right? So that's kind of what we know at this time. As always, as I know more regarding pandemic EBT, SNAP benefits, or any additional stimulus that may be going to the American people, I promise I will fill you in on all the latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.